Right. So what is happiness? So most of us think that happiness is an emotion. Today I am sad, tomorrow I am joyful. I got something, I am happy, and I lose something, I become sad. So they think that it is a fleeting emotion. Okay. Okay, but then 50% of it is genetics. So it is already predetermined. So what does this 50% of genetics do? It makes your body, it makes your mind, you have a physical mental makeup because of genes. You believe that? All of you believe that? How many people believe that? Raise your hand. Some of you don't believe. Okay, right. So, natural disposition and temperament from a stable basement, that is difficult to achieve. So, this genetics, 50%, I'm not saying 100% actually, only 50%. So, genetics, by genetics, we tend to get some temperaments and natural dispositions. So, does anyone know what are temperaments? Have you heard of temperaments? Sanguine temperament, choleric temperament, biliary temperament, melancholic temperament. Okay, I'll give you an example. So, suppose there are 4 people going to a tour and they are passing through a forest and suddenly a big tree falls. Okay, so in that, one person who has sanguine temperament, maybe something like me, so they'll feel like very happy. Oh my God, in the middle of the night, we are stuck in a forest. Chalo, let us put some campfire. Let us put the tent and enjoy. That is like sanguine temperament. And there are other people who is like, okay, there is a problem now. I need to jump. Let us remove this log of tree so that we can continue our work and reach our destination. That is called as choleric biliary temperament. Okay, and then there are some people, phlegmatic temperament people. Acha, all the while we were journeying. This jeep is like moving. So let me sleep now. Okay, you people do. You put a campfire, you remove the wood, and let's sleep. That is phlegmatic temperament. Okay, and there are some melancholic temperament people who started crying. From the beginning, I didn't want to come to this tour, but you people forced me. You put me in this, and you see, I'm stuck here. If something comes and eats away, what is my story? So you understand. So these are temperaments. So this is the ancient classification of human mentality. The preliminary studies of personality is a psychology subject. So these are temperaments. So these, see, when I'm telling this to you, you are already relating with yourself. Yes or no? Some of you, why did I see only rose? Why did somebody see only thorn and blood and and then somebody, what did you see? You said something, right?
No specific.
Okay. Right. So you understand. So these are all temperaments. Okay. So 50% is because of that temperament, and it cannot be changed. Even I was expecting Nagaswami sir to come. If he had come, he would have supported my concept. Yeah. You also support. Thank you so much. And then 10% is life circumstances like external factors. The villa where I am living, the Lamborghini which I am driving, I don't have either of these. Okay, just tell me. And then 40% is intentional activity. This 40% intentional activity, their most powerful level of change lies in the daily actions and habits we consciously choose. So when Prabhuji was talking about all those qualities, and in the conclusion also, see, some qualities he highlighted in red line. Some statements he highlighted in the red line in the conclusion. So those red lines are related to this 40% intentional activity. So genetics, you may not be able to change, you cannot change the mom and dad. Okay, and wealth status and all that, community, this and that, they're always not in your hands, very difficult to change. Okay, there are so many factors which influence that. But this 40% intentional activity is in your hands. What you can do. And that 40% intentional activity, before you step out of this door, I am gonna teach you in some form or the other, if you pay attention. Okay? So how does biochemistry view happiness? So sir was talking about, my co-speaker was talking about neuroscience. So neuroscience and biochemistry talks about these 4 substances. dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin. Overall dose. And then please read this. Looks like you all need to dose. You all are feeling like dosing. That's why I made you stand and sit so that you take this dose. So dopamine is the reward chemical. Oxytocin is a love hormone or a bondage hormone. Serotonin is a mood stabilizer and endorphin is a painkiller. So let us do some activity to stimulate all this. Okay? Right. Shekhar, please come. Or shall I involve all of you? Is it okay?
No, first involve him is the.
Yeah, come here. Come here. Yeah. Can you do 3 setups for me? Sit-ups? Okay. I'll also do it. Nobody is punishing you. Yeah. Right. My technique is right actually. Yeah.
3, right?
Right. 3. Yeah, you can go. So this person was given a task and he has done it. Okay? So let me search his dopamine. I am giving him a reward for this. Did you expect this reward? How are you feeling? You're feeling good. So he's feeling good because of there is a surge in his dopamine. Okay? And then let us talk about oxytocin. Morning, where is Deepak? Deepak is there. Come here. So morning while I was coming out of my room to practice about this session, I saw him. And first thing I saw him, I felt, oh, I know this person. But till then, other people in the bus, they didn't come. So I felt so good. Okay. So I asked him, do you know me? Yes, what did he say? Yeah, so I was happy that some connection is there and he remembers. So that bondage, surges my oxytocin. Okay? And to enhance my oxytocin furthermore, let me give him a hug. Thank you, plus smiling. And then there is something serotonin. Serotonin is like a mood stabilizer. Very few. Oh, good people. So you see in English movies, the children have a lot of liberty, The child is pampered to, not, I won't say pampered, but it looks like a pampering thing, but then they are, so if the child is making some noise, the mom and dad will say, no, please focus on this. There is a lot of choice for the kids to choose. Even if they are crying, the parents, our parents, they give one more and they say, Chuck. But there it is not like that. Because this is the reason. They view of self as individual ego. Right from the childhood, they think that this child has some ego and we have to respect that ego. That is their view of understanding the psychology of a person. But here, our Vedantic concept, it says that our primary goal is self-realization. What is that self-realization? We were talking, right? We are basically blissful people, but because we attached ourselves to all the other material objects, so our lens is like mask, remove the dust of Maya, and then you realize that you are a smiley, happy, blissful soul. So that is the primary goal. And then what is the mechanism? Mechanism is Dharma and Karma Yoga. And then what are the other methods? Proper methods, meditation, detachment, yoga, and all these things. Sir is a yoga subject expert. So he will teach us maybe tomorrow. Right. And view of self. So we don't see that, okay, you are an individual person, you have some ego, I will not touch your ego, you don't touch my ego. This is not the concept there. There it is like universal spirit. You understand yourself more than your ego. Because our Vedanta architecture, what does it say? It says that we have Vijnana, we have Ananda. Not just Manomaya, not just Pranamaya, not just Annamaya. We are beyond that. Okay? Right. And now this is a big industry now. Suppose you are celebrating a party, to decorate the party place, you have a party shop. Meaning seeking. So I spoke to Deepak maybe last session, and this winter school we hurt each other. So next time we see, more bondage might happen between us. So something meaningful. And I am associated with BA for such a long time, a decade or more. So we are like, I came like one of you. I was like the audience when I was a student. then young minds weeks one session, then from summer school, then winter school, like that, our bondage is increasing. So some meaningful connection is happening. So that is called a eudaimonia. But then this hedonic happiness, which is short term and which is connected with all the other external things, has a drawback. The thing is, it comes like a wave. Okay, you see, humans quickly adapt to positive changes like a rise, causing happiness to return to baseline. So all these hedonic things, suddenly you feel happy, and again suddenly it will come to the baseline. Whereas experiences and things, so if you connect your happiness with something, or if you connect your happiness with some experience, you see, the science say that what you related with experience will last for a longer time. Like for example, some of you have been to last winter school, yes or no? Can you tell me what you had in the first day breakfast? You ate, you enjoyed it, you forgot it. But if I ask you to come and tell about your experience, what you felt, you might come up with something. We went to Srirangapatna, this, that, this place I like it. So what does it show? It shows that what this concept is speaking is right. These hedonic happiness lasts for a very short time. But what you seek with a meaning, what you experience it actually will last for a longer time. So now you have to understand where you have to invest your time and energy. And then Vedanta, I mean, all of you are BI going people, so you all know it, right? So we are not just body, we are not just mind, we have an energy body, we have a blissful body, we also have an intellectual body, which are called as Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. Yeah, he said about Jnanam and Vijnanam. When you realize the Jnanam, it is Vijnanam. And Vedanta clearly talks about two things. Okay, so psychology talks about hedonia and eudaimonia, whereas Vedanta talks about sukha and ananda, the pleasure and bliss. So you see, sukha refers to worldly happiness derived from the senses and external objects. But the problem here is, sukha has a dual nature. You get this happiness, you also lose it, which is called as dukkha and pain. All of you stand for a long time, you don't have a chair, that is dukkha. Okay, suppose I make you stay, you get a chair, you got a pleasure, that is sukha. Okay, so it is dependent on circumstances and it is dualistic. It is dualistic. So it can be present, it cannot be present. Suppose you have a phone, it is there, tomorrow it is lost, it's gone. So that is something related to sukha. Okay? Whereas ananda is bliss, refers to limitless non-dual joy that is intrinsic nature of the self. It is independent of the external factors and is eternal and causeless. But the ananda thing, what I am talking about, what that Vedantic construction of our human being talks about, the Ananda Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, Vedanta says that you realize a joy. It is not that there is no joy, you bring joy from somewhere, with some person, with some object, or with some experience. Bliss is there within each one of you. It is there, inherent, maybe dormant. All you need to do is conduct your life and lifestyle in such a way that you realize it. That is what Vedanta says about happiness. So Vedanta also talks about Satchidananda, that is bliss is not acquired, but it is the true unchanging nature of the self. And then, okay, so we all have an inherent internal endogenous bliss, then where did it go? It has disappeared because of illusion. Miseries arise from attachment to the transient external world. Happiness is simply the removal of this ignorance. So you understood why we forgot that we are Ananda people? Because we have attached ourselves to those hedonic objects. We have attached our Ananda with some object, with some person, with some place, with some position, with some status, with some dream which you wanted it to be true. But because that has not happened, you have attached it to the material object. That is why you forgot your identity and also your inherent quality. Somebody is sleeping, I am going to wake them up. Yeah, so dharma and karma yoga. So what can be done to get back to your original position? What Vedanta says is purposeful duty, living a life aligned with one's dharma provides a deep, unshakable satisfaction distinct from fleeting pleasure. So we were talking about definition of happiness in the beginning first slide. We were talking that it is not just a fleeting emotion, but it is something more. So this is that. Living a life aligned with one's dharma, our duty, provides a deep, unshakable satisfaction. Sometimes, particularly I think mothers can connect with this. So they do so many things for the children. Sometimes the children are still not happy. Family members are not happy. I get to see a lot of patients, the children don't give any regard to their parents, don't take care of their parents, don't bring them for consultation, don't take them for proper blood tests on time and anything like that. So, but still if you ask them, they still love the children, right? Because without expecting anything, they are just having an unshakable satisfaction. मेरा बच्चा है, कहीं पे भी है, खुश रहे, that is more than enough for me. They don't want the child to be clinging to them always, taking care of them, giving more priority to them than their daughter-in-law, nothing like that. He's there somewhere, he's happy, I'm more than happy. So that is called unshakable satisfaction. And detached action. Karma Yoga teaches acting without attachment to the results, breaking the cycle of anxiety and disappointment. So these two things, you know about Karma Yoga, I think you all are attending Bhagavad Gita classes, you know that you should not think about the results, not attach yourself much to the results. Okay? So when you practice your purposeful duty, the dharma, and do your detached action, the karma, you can get back to your original ananda position. Okay? Yeah, so this is a very big table, but I'll try to just explain it in a small, cut short way. So, what is psychology? You don't read the slide. Look at me. I'll explain you. So, what does Western science, which calls itself as science, focus on? It says that our primary goal is optimizing the function and mood. So, they say that you should be able to work to the fullest potential of your mind. That is what is their primary goal. And mechanism is you should have proper neurochemistry, all this dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, everything, omega-3, omega-6, all the supplements people are eating, this jadibuti, that jadibuti, Saraswati legium, Shankapushpi, all that to make the brain work to its fullest extent. Okay, so this is their way of mechanism. And then they have some methods also. Methods like psychotherapy, cognitive behavior therapy, this therapy, that therapy, you name it, they have a therapy. And then there are medications. Suppose your dopamine is less, they have something to stimulate your dopamine. Suppose your serotonin is fluctuating, then they have SSRI, selective reuptake inhibitors of serotonin, all those drugs. Okay, so they are medication, and they also advise you about some habits which can raise your neurotransmitters and happy hormones. And then their view of self is individual. So suppose you see, any of you watch English movies? Raise your hands. Very few. Oh, good people. So you see in English movies, the children have a lot of liberty, The child is pampered too. Not, I won't say pampered, but it looks like a pampering thing, but then they are, so if the child is making some noise, the mom and dad will say, no, please focus on this. There is a lot of choice for the kids to choose. Even if they are crying, the parents, our parents, they give one more and they say, Chuck. But there it is not like that. Because this is the reason. They view of self as individual ego. Right from the childhood, they think that this child has some ego and we have to respect that ego. That is their view of understanding the psychology of a person. But here, our Vedantic concept, it says that our primary goal is self-realization. What is that self-realization? We were talking, right? We are basically blissful people, but because we attached ourselves to all the other material objects, so our glasses, lenses like mask, remove the dust of Maya, and then you realize that you are a smiley, happy, blissful soul. So that is the primary goal. And then what is the mechanism? Mechanism is dharma and karma yoga. And then what are the other methods? Proper methods, meditation, detachment, yoga, and all these things. Sir is a yoga subject expert. So he will teach us maybe tomorrow. Right. And you of self. So we don't see that, okay, you are an individual person, you have some ego, I will not touch your ego, you don't touch my ego. This is not the concept there. There it is like universal spirit. You understand yourself more than your ego. Because our Vedanta architecture, what does it say? It says that we have Vijnana, we have Ananda. Not just Manomaya, not just Pranamaya, not just Annamaya. We are beyond that. Okay? Right. And now this is a big industry now. Suppose you are celebrating a party, to decorate the party place, you have a party shop. A baby is born, you have first cry and all the objects related to the baby. Same way there is a happiness industry, and which is a byproduct of the modern day capitalism. So modern capitalism often frames happiness as a product of purchased vacation, gadget, or a lifestyle upgrade. Maruti 800, Lamborghini, happiness. 2 BHK apartment, villa, happiness. And then Kumbakonam tour to then some, America or whether, some other place, happiness. So that, and then, but the problem with commodification of joy is, there is an arrival fallacy. Suppose my dad gave me some XYZ lakhs of rupees to buy a phone. I booked the iPhone, latest version. I have to wait. When will that iPhone come? When the iPhone comes, then my happiness comes. So this is called that arrival fallacy. You have to wait till you arrive. You have to wait till that phone arrives, till that person arrives, or you arrive to that place where you seek a holiday. And then, yeah. So, but then there is a problem here. Paradoxically, once basic needs are met, higher national income does not correlate with national happiness. So if we see it in terms of the economics like that, most of the people think why people want to go to West, better standard of living, everybody has a car there, everybody has freedom to go and enjoy in a pub or whatever, you can live yourself. So though the national income is high on some places, okay, but still does it mean that all the people in the West are happy? Are they really happy? Why, you will understand. I am going to make some people stand up and sit again. Social comparison. Extreme wealth often fuels anxiety and social comparison and sadness. So your income status goes from middle income to higher income or rich class. Even then, it fuels a lot of anxiety. You will be always, suppose you reach Forbes 10 list, top 10 list, you will be always trying to go to the one. If you reach one, you will be worried about the position, how long will I stay here? So you understand, so higher national income doesn't guarantee your happiness. Autonomy, yeah, this is something which you need to focus. All of you, most of you are Bangalore IT professionals. Money contributes most to happiness when it buys freedom and autonomy, not just goods. So some of you are experiencing this autonomy because of your education and your qualification and your respective jobs. That's why you could take a break and come here. Suppose a government job holder, he will not get a Saturday holiday. A private job holder, somebody working in a mall, he has to work particularly on Saturday and Sunday. So you are enjoying some level of autonomy because of your qualification and your jobs. That is why money contributes most to happiness when it buys freedom and autonomy, not just goods. What's wrong? Yeah. But yeah, see, at a national level, if you see, people think that what is the Development is rise in the GDP. Gross domestic product is rising. So we are a developing country or a developed country. But it is not so. We need to focus, like some small countries like Bhutan, they are focusing on gross national happiness. They are working on national happy policies, not only healthy policies, happy policy. Bhutan's policy framework prioritizes collective well-being over simple economic output. So, Prabhuji was talking about, somebody needs a help, you go and give. You understand their need and you try to help. So they become happy. By giving, you are become happy. By receiving, they are feeling happy. Okay? So this is called collective well-being. And then holistic metrics. Success is measured by environmental health, cultural preservation, and social well-being. Now we have to question ourselves. Are we really working on these things? We are stuck at our individual happiness level. We are stuck at the most, some family level, happiness level. We are also stuck at the company. Whether the company is growing high, yes. My net worth is increasing, yes. But if environmental disasters happen, all your happiness will vanish. And if your culture is not preserved, somebody else comes again. Somebody else will come again and invade the country and bring about their culture. Your happiness is gone. And psychological well-being. Even if all these things are there, until and unless you have a collective well-being, you cannot be happy. And then another thing is, trust is also needed. See, you are happy, your family is happy, the facilities are increasing and everything, but you are not sure. You are seeing so many wars, right, between the countries. You are not sure whether you can trust the government. You understand? Suppose if the government is spurious or your leaders of the company are spurious, anything that happiness can become topsy-turvy. So all these things, civic trust, okay, high-ranking nations prioritize universal social safety nets and strong community nets. Suppose somebody has a rare disease, particularly we have an association for rare diseases. So suppose we have a rare disease for which there is no treatment. So those people need some social safety nets. Okay, they should feel that if this person with rare disease goes to a school, he is safe. He will not be bullied. Suppose this person with a rare disease goes to a workplace, he should get enough support from there. So these social safety networks and strong community trust are also one of the main indicators of happiness which are badly needed. Yeah, the cost of disconnection. So we spoke, right, about what are the hedonic and eudaimonic factors of psychology. The strongest predicator of long-term health and happiness globally is strong relationship. Loneliness is spreading its tentacles like a epidemic, and this is more common in so-called high-income, so-called well-developed countries on the other side of the globe. Global stability, political instability, lack of trust destroys subjective well-being, being regardless of when we have seen some countries like Iran, how they were before, how they are now. So you understand, individual happiness, నేను బాగున్నాను, నా ఫ్యామిలీ బాగుంది, मेरा घर परिवार अच्छा है, सब कुछ ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं चलेगा. थोड़ा बहुत we have to focus on what is happening at the political level also. And happiness in digital age, everybody has a phone, they are happy with the phone. If you remove the phone, they are not happy. The modern toolkit, micro habits, yeah, I'll talk about all this. Yeah, so this is a model which can be useful for particularly homemakers and middle-aged men who after 40s they tend to go into some crisis. Okay, so it is given as Parma model, but maybe for you to remember, you can remember it as Prema model. Okay, so P stands for positive emotion and R stands for relationships. Cultivating joy and nurturing deep social bonds are foundation for flourishing. So relationships, you remember I told you that when you have experiences, they tend to last for a longer time. But if you cling to the objects, that happiness lasts for a very less time and it disappears. Okay, so experiences, particularly if they are social, if they are related to your relationships, then it is much better. So positive emotions and relations, particularly deep social bonds, are foundations for flourishing. So you need to focus on that. And then engagement and meaning. Seeking flow in work and connection to purpose larger than oneself. So you need to engage yourself. So Prabhuji is like all these Prabhujis, IIT professor and techies, some professors, they're all busy in their own work, right? They have lot to do in their office. But apart from that, they are also engaging in some activity which is not just getting salary. They're doing workshop with BI, or they may be speakers in other institutions. What is this about? This is about engaging yourself in any other higher purpose. Okay? Not just money, minting objects, getting wealth, fill your bank balance, increase your net worth. And then the last one, PREMA. A is standing for accomplishment. Setting and achieving goals builds self-efficacy and a sense of mastery. See, this actually accomplishment is related to your dopamine. Otherwise, people, some people come and say, everybody is settled. Sons are in Australia, daughter is in America. We have a big villa. We have Naukar charter. Everybody doing everything. We don't have to worry about wealth. Our health is secured. We have health policy. We have pension. Everything. But still, people go into depression. Why? Because of this. Accomplishment, setting and achieving goals builds self-efficacy and a sense of mastery. So, though you have secured yourself in all the angles, but still you need to have some goals and work on it. Like one of my patients, who was battling with cancer, and even last month of his life, he was working to set up a school in Jubilee Hills. So some goals you need to keep and work on it. Otherwise also, you will not flourish mentally as a psychological being. So this is the thing, middle-aged men, I think, can work on this Prema model. Yeah, so if we combine the Eastern Vedantic concepts with the scientific, so-called scientific Western concepts, I think we can holistically synthesize it. Prabhuji also was talking about synthesizing science and spirituality. So we can have a bio-psycho-spiritual model. True happiness is not a single state, but a harmony of dimensions: biological, psychological, and spiritual. So what does this biology involve? What I spoke about, the dose concept. Healthy body and balanced hormones. You should have proper hormones, proper neurotransmitters, proper nutrition. Your brain should grow to its fullest capacity. That is your biological. Psychological is resilience, flow, and positive mind. I was talking about flow, right? You need to keep yourself engaged in something. So that is about flow. And spiritual, purpose, connection, and inner peace. The Ananda thing, what I was talking about. You have to explore your Anandamaya Kosha. You need to remove your Maya and get closer towards your core self. This is the spiritual. So bio-psycho-spiritual model. Integration of all these leads to sustainable well-being. And if you miss any of these three things, any one among these three things, the chances of you flourishing or being actually happy is questionable. Probably where is it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So let us do some activities. So you understood, right? Biological, psychological, and spiritual. So let us do some activity. Okay.